Hey guys, Fnaf fans, that was one here. And again, I have to be quiet because I don't want it to echo too much. Yes, that is Freddie. He is the co-host with me at the moment. He just likes to sit in the background. Anyways, today we are going to be talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And I did go see it. I saw it in theaters, and I saw it 4 more times on Peacock just so that I can find any secrets. I did find a lot. I think half of this, I'll be looking up at this timer up here. You guys can't see it, but I'm seeing it. If it hits like the 5-minute mark, I'm gonna split into the spoiler territory. So at the moment, this is not anything spoilish. Kind of hard to do that. So, as a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, we have waited 8 years for this movie to be made, and I think for the perspective that they're going for, as if you're going as a Five Nights at Freddy's fan and somebody that doesn't know how to do it, those are the two main things that are they try to help with it. Because if you're not a Five Nights at Freddy's fan and you go see the movie, let's put it this way, because it's hard saying words. Yeah. If you are not a Five Nights at Freddy's fan and you go see the movie and they threw a bunch of like Fnaf Easter eggs and Fnaf this, Fnaf that, and you see the movie and you're like, what was that? What even is this? It's not gonna make sense to you, not in the slightest. So they had to incorporate it like that. The other thing is, from what I'm seeing, most people didn't really like the movie, and it's not because they didn't like the movie, it's because of, my thought is, they've already experienced Five Nights at Freddy's. They've already seen it, stuff like that. They've already seen it, played all the games, know how the story goes, know who William Afton is, stuff like this. But you also have to remember, there's some people out there that have no clue what it is, so they have to kind of incorporate that for them. So there are some things that seem goofy and childish in it, and that's done on purpose. Don't forget, this is Scott. He does things on purpose. You always have to keep that in mind. There is no accidents with him. It's always on purpose. So most people don't really like it because either the story's too fast or some things didn't make sense. But also at the same time, if something didn't make sense, it's on purpose. Okay? Like, in Five Nights at Freddy's, it didn't explicitly say who killed the children. We had to wait a couple of games to find that out. Anyways, getting off topic. If you are a Five Nights at Freddy's fan and you haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie. You're going to love it. There's a bunch of different Easter eggs. Some I didn't catch until I saw Daco's video. There was one that I did not catch, and now watching it back, I saw it and I'm like, I did not see that at all. How did I miss it? But yeah, be on the lookout for more Easter eggs, because knowing Scott, he probably put a lot of Easter eggs into it. And how it's looking now, there's definitely there's a high possibility that there's going to be a sequel. I'm very excited about that, because I have waited 8 years for this movie, and to me, 10 out of 10, I would watch it. I have watched it 5 times, and I'm still going to, because I watched it once in theaters, 3 times on Peacock, watched Daco's video, watched another time on Peacock, and Peacock is just where I've watched it. It's a good story. There's some twists that you do not expect. And a lot of different cameos. that I was not expecting. I kind of wish Scott did like a cameo, has like a poster, like phone guy or not phone guy, like just a poster in there or something. Not help wanted, a missing poster or something like that. That being said, we're gonna go into spoiler territory now. So if you haven't watched the movie, go check it out real quick and then come back to this. Yeah, I'll give you a couple of minutes. It's a couple of seconds. Okay, now it's just us. Spoilers. We actually get a spring lock scene. That, I don't know if I was the only one that saw all of this and was like, yes, 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 more. Because I think how they did everything was beautiful, perfect, magnificent. Some were a bit okay, sure, I guess, but at the same time, like for instance, the fort scene. I know Daco's said this, not many people like the fort scene, but at the same time, they were kids. So it had to incorporate the childness somehow, because they're giant, like what, 8-foot robots that it needs to have some childishness, childish. I can't speak, so good luck. But I think how they did the story perfectly, like especially how they did not explain stuff. We've had to learn throughout the games who William Afton was, who killed them, who the names were. Like, I don't think we learned what Susie's name was until, I'm not gonna go there because I don't remember. But it's just the I completely forgot what I was gonna say. They're children. They don't know what they're doing because they died at a young age. They're children. But yeah, how they. I'm trying to think of where I am. Yes, how they kind of kept things hidden. It was pretty cool because, especially the twist with Vanessa being Afton's daughter, I don't think anybody was expecting it. Probably some people, but I definitely wasn't. So whenever he's in there, like, oh, what's this? And you see, first off, I got every single reference. From Sparky was the biggest one. Whenever I saw Sparky over at the wall for the very first time, I'm like, Sparky, that's gotta be Sparky. And then Blonde Freak, she was like, are you sure that's, do you mean Fetch? And I'm like, no, that's Sparky. That's from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, from when somebody tried to fake a snapshot and say there's a dog hidden behind the door. She's like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, that's Sparky. And then you get to the diner with Matt Pat, and the diner's named Sparky. So I was like, okay, of course. And then you see the spring lock Ella, and I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, that looks so familiar. That's got to be Ella. And I'm sitting here thinking of okay, there's people out there. I'm sitting there thinking of the 3:33 a.m. book of Ella. I don't think it's explicitly said that was Ella, but the facial features looked a lot like her. But it was also Ella from the Twisted Ones. I'll put like pops and stuff of what they look like. I'll have Um, but we also got Shadow Freddy, and we also have oh my gosh, what was the other one? I think it was just Shadow Freddy. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice Shadow Freddy until the second time I watched, because Max was stuffed into Shadow Freddy. I didn't realize that at first, it was too dark. But the spring lock scene, I thought it was done justified. It was perfect. The way they explained everything was perfect, because it was just like, his name is William Afton. He's my father. Blah blah blah. He's like, you knew he took Garrett. Not at first. Which I still don't know how she knew that it was Garrett, because I don't think she knew what Garrett looked like. I don't think she knew what Mike looked like and what Garrett looked like to have them put 2 and 2 together. I think she just kind of knew him by name, and I was like, oh, my father killed this kid. Which, how William Afton, would you say, my brain's not working. His lies, his manipulation, that's the word I'm looking for. His manipulation throughout the entire movie. And the thing that I keep seeing, and nobody has ever commented on, I love the fact that he's sitting there reading out of his file, and he's like, okay, you've done this, you've done this, you've done this. What is it that are you basket case? Are you, like, what's your deal, Mike? You want some coffee? And just a moment of the realization is there. It's just, Mike, you want some coffee? And he gets up and makes some coffee, and he's just like, I know this last name. Just you could tell in his face he had to get rid of Mike because he killed his brother. Like, you could instantly tell. Just as a FNAF fan, a normal person, I took my cousin who doesn't like FNAF, doesn't play the games because they're a bit freaky. But I took him there, and he mainly only wanted to watch it with Matthew Lillard, and I even kind of tricked him because I knew Steve Raglan was going to be William Afton. It's just when you cast Matthew Lillard as William Afton and then you go and change his name and stuff, it kind of makes sense. Anyways, whenever it gets done with the phone call scene, I'm like, now that's the last time you see of him. And he got bumped out. And then the surprise reveal of Springtrap coming in, or not Springtrap, but Spring Bonnie coming in, and he's presenting himself, it's prophecy, my friend. First I kill your brother, then I kill you. It's the end of the cycle, whatever. Then he takes off his helmet. Then my cousin, he was like, oh, I didn't know that's the same guy. And I was just like, okay, that's pretty cool. But the part of, I just love the movie altogether. It's so hard to express words because it is such, I was looking forward to the movie for 8 years. 8 years! And it was worth it. To me, it was worth it. It explains everything, but it doesn't explain it too much. We still don't know why William kills the kids. We don't know anything about him. How they portrayed him was perfectly, because it was just like, yeah, he's Steve Raglan. He's a career counselor. Then you find out he's the killer. Why did he kill the kids? Who is he? What's his life story? Why does he wear the Bonnie outfit? Blah, 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 blah. Some of that can be self-explained. Wears it so that he doesn't get killed by the kids that he murdered. Which some of it's all self-explanatory, but they don't tell us almost anything about William Afton, who all his family was, stuff like that. They kind of kept him in the dark. That just, here's Steve Radlin, career counselor, offers a job to Mike. Then you see him as a killer. He says that he killed some kids, and then he gets spring-locked and dragged away. That's it. Which I gotta say, I love the spring-lock scene. And to some people that might not have seen the movie, the I always come back might have seemed a little goofy, but as a Fnaf fan, I loved it. I loved it. Him just, because if you don't, I don't know how you would explain it to somebody that doesn't understand spring locks, how they work. They did a good job explaining it, but they should have had it kind of like probably a flashback to when they would put a spring lock suit onto an animatronic so they can see how painful it would be to put it on a human. Because it shows it, but it just like folds in, so it looks like a rib cage almost. It's just basic like that. But then whenever you see William get spring locked, it's more of like, you just see it clamp on and then slowly press in. You don't, it's hard to see it, but as somebody that knows how the spring locks works, just from the games and stuff, it was awesome. I loved it. Yeah, they did take some of it from the Silver Eyes, but I mean, how else were you gonna do it? Like, how else would you explain how William Afton got spring locked into a suit and hidden away in a room for nobody to find? There's not really a good way you can express that. Especially with all the characters there and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably gonna be it for this video. Definitely watch all of Doggo's videos, because they actually went behind the scenes, got a good look at all the suits and stuff like that, so it's really, really cool. Loved all the cameos, Matt, Pat, Corey, the wall of people. There were probably some scenes in the movie that didn't quite need it, like when Mike goes and gets the prescription. Yeah, it's understandable. She threw the pills in the water, so you had to see Mike go get the pills and stuff. But it's not really necessary. You could have just had a shot of him walking out of the pharmacy with a bag. But yeah. What I have are not nitpicks. They are... It's probably a nitpick. It's what I meant to say is it's not a complaint. It's just a tiny little detail that's not necessarily needed. But I have nothing bad on the movie. I loved it. So far, my bosses, I've talked about it, and they're like, I might have to see it. Some of them, one of them hasn't watched it yet, but the other one said that's actually pretty good so far. So all I'm hearing from it is good things. I'll be scrolling on YouTube and I'll see stuff and it's like, this is the worst movie ever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bruh, okay, sure, that's your opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. Like how this is entitled to my own opinion. It's my opinion. But yeah, I love the movie. If you guys are a Fnaf fan, you'll probably love the movie too, depending on your taste and how long you've been with the game and how fully you know the story. You'll love it too. But yeah, if you guys like this video, hit the like button down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.